Maxwell, Edison, Adrian, and Madison calls her on the phone. Can I take you out for the pictures, Joe? But as she's getting ready to go, a knock comes on the door. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down on her head. Oh, what a gruesome song by the Beatles, right? Axe, or not an axe murderer, a hammer murderer. Serial murderer too. Oh my gosh, why did the Beatles write a song like this? I'll tell you about it in the History Nerd section, is also the connections this song has with bluegrass too. Let's dive into it. I've got a new strum to learn. This is a more intermediate and advanced. I won't go over the basic chords, but we'll just dive right in. Let's learn a thumb roll strum. I think that oom-pah sound that the Beatles have in this song is best done with a thumb roll and a kind of trigger finger strum. Basically, it's a 2-beat strum, but on the first beat, you're going to pluck either your C string or your G string. And I've got a low G on this instrument. Love the low G for this song. And you're going to alternate. And you start with the C, because it's in the key of C. So we'll finger a C chord. So I'm just going to go back and forth. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So to complete the strum, you're going to add up in between. So you're going to go C, strum, G, strum, C, strum, G, strum, C, strum, G, strum. So together that equals 4 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the chord chart, every time you see a chord, it's going to get 4 beats, 1 repetition of that's pattern. To get us started with it, let's do it slowly without the lyrics. We're just going to take the top lines of the verses to start with, but that G7 there, we are going to do that with an island strum, because after doing the same strum all the time, it gets monotonous. And then the last line of the verse, I've got some cool things to add, including a new chord to learn. So 1, 2, nice and slowly. C, A7, G, and D minor, G, and D minor, G, and G7. Go back to this timestamp if you need to repeat that. Let's go on and let's do the two verses, but the 2 lines of the chorus that do the same thing. So 1, 2, ready, begin. C, C again, and D7, D7 again, and G7. Something else. So let's talk about those something else's. The last line of the verses looks like this, and those asterisks mean that you're going to add some knocking, because this is going to knock on the door, and this kind of sinister sound. Here it goes. Sounds like this. But as she's getting ready to go, a knock comes on the door. That's how I'm going to do it. So the D7 is 1, 1, 2, 3, going to do 2 G7s down strum. You're going to shift to a G diminished. That is basically, you're going to take your G7 shape and slide it up. You don't have to use this finger, just G7, slide up, and then back to a G7, and down, down, up, down, up. So adding another island strum to break up the texture of your strumming. Let's do that last line together. 1, 2, here we go. 3, 4, and G7, G diminished, G7. Timestamps down below if you need to do that again. Let's look at the last line of the chorus. Got some more things to break up the texture. 1, 2, here it goes. And she was dead. So it's 1, 2, G7, 3, 4, and C, G, C, and. Each of these 2 sections has to equal 4 beats. First one's easy. The last one, the C, there's a rest at the end. So let's do it together, and just as a reminder, this finger gets to stay put between the D minor and the G7. So 1, 2, here we go. D minor, G7, C, G7, C. And I just do a C and do a little slide to get my fingers in place for the G7. C, G7, C. Just do a little slide, C, G7, C. I might just kind of pick it up a little, but just trying to keep things, economy of motion, do as little motion as possible. There are interlude sections in this song, and they get a little different treatment too. The first interlude looks like this, and each of those down strums on the first line get 2 beats, but then on the last line it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll count it out. Let's do it together. 1, 2, here we go. C to E7 to A minor to C7 to F to G7 to and C, G, C. There's another interlude too, and so to break up the texture of it, we're going to keep it all in the island strum, except for the last line, which then has the single strumming with it. And that C, G, C is the same as what we did in Interlude 1. So let's do it together. 1, 2, here we go. C, C again, and D7, D7 again, and G7, G7 again, and D minor twice, G7 twice, C, G. Oh, but then, you know, we could get even fancier. Interlude 1 repeats, and so, well, so does Interlude 2, but when the Beatles do it, they've got a ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba, so let's ba-da-da-da too on our instruments. 1 and 2 and 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 C, C. Put a finger on each string, well, your thumb and 3 fingers, so put thumb, index, middle, and ring on a string like that, and you are just going to do a waterfall down. You're going to start with your G and go towards the floor. Everybody stays on their string. We're going to do steady 8th notes, so it's going to sound like 1 and 2 and then you're going to start on your G string and go to your A string and then go back to your G string. So I will do it slowly, showing you how it goes here. It's 1 and 2 and E7, A minor, C7, F, G7, and then for the last part, you can pluck all your strings at the same time. C, G7, C, but you could strum it too. C, G7, C. Either way. Let's do that again. I'll put my instruments so it's more comfortable for me to play. I'm amazed that I made that through that time. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, here we go. C, E7, Now we do that interlude one last time at the very end. We do it with the single strums like we did before, but we've got some words to add, like this. Silver hammer. And that ends the song. Science in the home, late at night all alone. That's how the first walk up that we're going to talk about sounds. It's on the D minor. It's on this D minor that I have coded in blue. If you don't want to do the walk ups, just play the regular strum, no problem. Here's what it looks like. Finger your D minor, but you're going to pluck twice your C string in that fingering. Pick up your index finger, pluck the E string, put that index finger back down, start your G7 chord, which comes next, right there. I'll show you that again. Okay, so that's the first optional walk up. These things do not happen overnight. At least they didn't for me. So when you're learning doing these types of little embellishments in between the chords, give yourself time. Everybody needs time, unless you're a genius or something. I don't know, whiz kid. To do the second walk up, which happens on a G7, that's how it sounds. What do? You don't have to finger the full G7. I use my index finger on the second fret of the C string, pluck it, your open G, second fret, again with the index finger on the G string, I rotate and stretch to get to the fourth fret, and then I pluck the C string and finger a C chord to get out of it. Let's do it slowly. 1, 2, ready, begin. 1, 2, try again. I hope you have fun with those walk-ups. So why in the heck did the Beatles write this song? Well, it was Paul McCartney's idea. He had started writing it when he was in India, and none of the other Beatles really got behind it. But the idea behind it isn't maybe as nefarious as the song sounds. He said here, and I'm quoting, that it's an analogy for when something goes wrong out of the blue, as it so frequently does. I can identify with that, and then bang, bang, Maxwell hammer. So now I have a new kind of saying in our family. It's like Maxwell silver hammer. So yeah, they didn't get behind it. It was probably one of the more contentious recording sessions that they had. Ringo said in an interview here, it was the worst session ever. They spent 3 days on it, just going over it, and these are full-time days, I'm sure, at the recording studio. John Lennon had been in a really bad accident in Scotland and was still recovering from that, so he wasn't in a great mood. Yoko Ono, his wife, maybe they weren't married at the time, but anyway, she was lying down on a bed in the studio because she was so badly hurt from that accident. George Harrison, this is what he had to say. He called the song fruity. It's one of Paul's fruity songs. And John Lennon had said, oh, it's one more of Paul's granny songs. So yeah, and of course we know that the Beatles took a very different direction towards the end, if anybody's a fan of their White Album. Well, pataphysical is used in the very first verse, and it's actually a real word. I thought, oh, you must mean paraphysical or something. I don't know. But it's a real word. It's from avant-garde theater. So apparently, Paul and Linda McCartney were getting into Alfred Jarry, who was an avant-garde theater person, and so that pataphysical comes from that. So yeah, and that is a scary image to leave you with. Oh, but I said the bluegrass connection. Check out my video, Cabin of Death, because bluegrass so frequently has that little boom bop, nice little boppy little sounds, pleasant chords, and then really gruesome stuff, murders, hangings going on. Before we get into the performance, I just want to let you know that my patrons mean the world to me. Thank you so very much. And I would like to encourage you to become a patron. You get access to all my chord charts with all the highlights and color coding and the strum patterns, all that good stuff, as well as 2 Zoom sessions a month with me where you can ask questions and play with me. So come join. That's what you get at the $3 level. And then if you'd like to learn songs or skills in a group lesson, I've got that too at the $6 level. All right, let's play this together. Joan was quizzical. This is your starting pitch, your starting phrase. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Joan was quizzical, studying pataphysical science in the home. Late at night, all alone with the test tube. Maxwell Edison, majoring in medicine, calls her on the phone. Can I take you out to the pictures, Joan? But as she's getting ready to go, a knock comes on the door. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon her head. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer made sure that she was dead. Maxwell plays a fool again. Teacher gets annoyed, wishing to avoid an unpleasant scene. She tells Max to stay when the class has gone away, so he waits behind. I'm writing 50 times, it must not be so. The boy, he creeps up from behind. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down on her head. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer made sure that she was dead. Said we got a dirty one. Maxwell stands alone, painting testimonial pictures. Rose and Valerie screaming from the gallery said he must go free. The judge does not agree and he tells them so. But as the words were leaving his lips, a noise came from behind. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer came down upon his head. Bang, bang, Maxwell's silver hammer made sure that he was dead. I had that little last part on. Well, yeah, okay, I can see George Harrison, you know, it's a little fruity, it's a little granny song, but it's just so ironic with that little boom chick and then these, you know, Maxwell silver hammer, and I love the analogy, boy, you know, I'm going to be using that silver hammer analogy in my life. Oh, by the way, there's this little fly, it might even be a fruit fly that's flying around here, and oh my gosh, it's driving me nuts. If you have a fruit fly remedy, please let me know. Thank you so much to all my patrons, and thank you for staying till the end. I'll see you in the next video.